Baby, it's time. Baby, it's time to heal the hurt, to let love shine. Together we will heal our hearts and dry weeping eyes. We're paying the parts, healing the hurt, mending every heart. Healing the Hurt TV.
Hello, Healies. We're back with another great episode of Healing the Hurt TV. Today we have a special guest, my daughter, Miss Jazz. She is going to introduce herself. Can you introduce yourself a little further? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Alea. I am 19 years old. I am from Beebe, Arkansas. And I'm currently a college student at Texas Women's University.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing? And don't hold back, because I'm your mama. I'm going to take a L for all the ex-toxic mamas.
Okay, so growing up for me, it was a very, very small town.
Mm-hmm.
It was mostly white students. It was so rare to see like any black kids at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little bit of a boring state. Also growing up, my parents did not get along. That was also one of the things that might have bothered me growing up.
Okay, so
Else?
what did it look like in your household at that time?
In my household, it was me, my sister, and my two brothers.
Mm-hmm.
In the household, it was kind of toxic, a little abusive. A lot of people carrying around a lot of hurt and anger. I don't know, maybe you don't feel as free to express yourself or your opinions. You don't feel as heard, and everybody's really going through their own battles. Yeah.
Okay. So how did that compound, and then going to school? Because sometimes parents think, okay, when you're with a certain group of children and you're in a certain neighborhood, that you may have a better life, but you're saying that wasn't the case for you.
Yeah, it just wasn't the case for me, because I do get certain neighborhoods you might think are better, because they're more suburban areas, and that could be true in some ways. Like maybe the education for sure might be better. BB did have a really good education system. Although I will admit some of the teachers were a little racist too. You really couldn't escape it down there. Some of the teachers were racist. You would get singled out sometimes, and
Tell me what that looked like, the racism.
So I remember I did have a teacher, like, you just get kind of singled out. So I had a assignment that I turned in. I was like in like kindergarten. And I remember vividly, I gave this teacher my paper. We all turned in our paper. And she was like, she didn't get my paper. Teachers lose papers. It happens. But and I was like, I gave you my paper. I turned it in, and then she starts like screaming at me in the middle of the classroom, like humiliating me. She's like, "That's bull. You didn't turn it in. That's bull, and you know it," and stuff like that. So I mean, it was racism. You couldn't escape it. Like, I remember wearing my hair natural. For the first few times, you just get treated different. Like, I think I had maybe a ponytail, like a little puff at the top, and then like all the kids, the white kids, they'd be all like, wait, they'd be all like, ew, she has mousse in her hair, don't touch her, ew, she has mousse, and run away and stuff like that.
So what did that do for your self-esteem?
But it did mess with your self-esteem, because, that's my hair. This is what my hair does, and this is what my hair looks like. And, I get it that they might not see that all the time. But, it just feels like, like I'm not normal. Like, this is some sort of a anomaly. Like, my hair's not normal.
Yeah, wow. So, okay, so back to your home life. So you're dealing with feeling rejected at school.
Yeah.
Not feeling like you're good enough, even your hair or the person that you were. And then what you were going through in your household.
Yeah.
So let's go back to that.
Um, what part in specifically?
Like, how did, your parents fighting the anger that your mom had, taking it out on your father, and how did the toxicity of the household actually affect you
Yeah, how did the environment
person?
affect me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it made me very hurt. Like, I was always worried for your safety when y'all would argue. And I wanted everybody to be happy. I mean, it hurt me. It did make me sad. And then again at school, totally, ruined somebody's self-esteem, and you really feel like, you don't belong. Like, or you're not heard, you don't belong, and, it really starts to mess with you.
Yeah. All right. So let's, so I know your mom, which is me.
Yeah.
So she went through a phase and she abruptly got into another marriage. What was that like for you?
So my life did change. I feel like a few things were better. Like, I like Texas better. It's more diverse. There's all types of people in Texas. There's more things to do. I haven't been called any racial slurs in Texas, so that's my favorite thing about it.
What about the family dynamic?
The family dynamic was
divorce. How did the divorce, whether the family life there was good or bad, how did the divorce directly affect you?
The divorce, I mean, I felt like we got a little separated. Like, I do miss when we all lived together. Like, everything just really happened very fast. There was a new school, a new family, new people I was living with who I didn't really know. And I barely even knew him at the time, And honestly, at first we didn't really get along either.
Yeah,
it was just like we didn't get along either. So
how did these? What I'm trying to get at is, the challenges you went through, because I want someone that may be going through some of the things that you've gone through. I want them to be able to relate with what you're going through, and there's no wrong or right answer. It's just the things you went through, how you felt, and so that we can get to your story of redemption and how you overcame.
Yeah, I mean, I felt separated. I felt like separated, like we were all getting torn apart, and I was getting pulled into something completely new that I had no idea about. And like I said, in some ways, I liked it. In some ways, I did miss, every now and then I do miss BB, where we came from. And it was hard to explain why, in a sense.
Because of the family. There was
maybe,
a sense of family.
It was
a greater sense of family, even
it
though
was
it was
just
toxic.
Even though it was toxic, we were still all together, closer in our way, physically.
I understand that.
Yeah.
So, how has the toxicity of your parents and the house you grew up in, the divorce, everything, how has it shaped you as a woman?
Well, it's made me stronger, like dealing with my emotions, because I went through a lot of things at that time, with my home life not being good and my school life not being good. I was able to just, it was just able to make me stronger, and I have to see the people who I can depend on. And it opens your eyes to who really is there for you when in your time of need, your friends, who you might think that they're your friends. If you can actually talk to them about personal things that you're going through without them maybe laughing at you, making fun of you, telling other people, telling the school, telling the world. Yeah.
All right. Now, I want to know, I want you to talk a little bit about your self-harm. What the things that you did to try to numb the pain?
Yeah, I would always look for ways to kind of help the pain that I was going through. I felt like I didn't have a lot of options and nowhere to turn. I was so unhappy with my life, and I felt like I needed something to take it out on. I felt like the people I love, they they abused me. And so I really just started to abuse myself in a weird way. It made me feel like this is what I deserve. You know, if the people who love me, they're doing this to me, it made me feel like that's what I deserve. So I felt like the scar I had got on my arm from when we fought, I felt like my arm was already ruined. And so I just ruined it more. And in a way, I don't know, it was me releasing my pain and my anger. And it at the time, it made me feel better.
Wow. So how were you able to overcome? Tell me about your story of redemption,
Yeah.
of self-acceptance, and how your relationship with your mother, me, how that was restored.
Redemption. It was a long path. I'm really trying to think when it started. I guess I want to say high school. I guess I started finding things that made me more happy. Like, I like to sing, I like to write, and I like to play games and hang out with my friends. So I really focus on things like that. Plus, I also did get an emotional support animal.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So his name is Little Uzi Vert. He is a black and white cat. He has a cute...
We call him Ooh Ooh.
Yes, Ooh Ooh.
That's
Uzi.
my grandcat.
Yeah, so he's actually, you know, he's really good company. And, you know, like I said, there's times where I felt like I was alone and I didn't have anyone to talk to, not my parents, not my mother, not my siblings, and not my friends. So I did get my emotional support animal. And that was really a big part of my journey, honestly. I haven't self-harmed or anything since I've gotten my emotional support animal. He's a good help to me.
Yes. Okay, now what about your relationship with your mom?
Honestly, my mom, when our relationship honestly got better when you changed, when your redemption arc.
When my redemption story took place.
Yeah, when
I fully sold out to the Lord.
Yes, that's definitely when I seen our relationship getting better, because before then, you were very hard to talk to. You were very dismissive of our feelings. You would say some very hurtful things and do some very hurtful things. So,
Yes.
you know, after that, you know, we got closer. We did spend more time. You do listen more. And I think that's what really helped it, because before you didn't really listen. You know, you just were like, you know, you're a child. Why should I listen to you? How you feel? And, I don't know. You just didn't really listen. You were very dismissive. Even of, like, if I said I would try to kill myself, you'd be very dismissive of, you know, things that probably deserved a little bit more attention.
So what would you suggest? Because I understand that, because there's no reason for that.
Yeah.
But when I was growing up, then if I, said that, maybe that's how my mother would have dealt with it.
Nah.
So, but now I understand the importance of it. But
Yeah.
what would you tell a mother that's watching, right? Because what would you wish I would have said? What do you wish I would have done? How could I have been better? Just talk to a mother that may not know how to relate to her teenage daughter.
Yeah, so if you're a mother who's going through this thing, I feel like more than likely your kid just wants you to listen to them.
What does that look like?
Whatever they're telling you, how they're feeling, just listen. Or, maybe it could be something that they're telling you that you're doing that's hurting them. There's things like that. Comfort them, a hug, a kiss, just talking about your problems does seem to help a lot. Yeah, just making them feel like you're their safe person, that they could come to you and talk to you without feeling, judged, or you getting angry, or you maybe turning it into a whole lecture. Just some comfort.
Yes, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah. But what is for some? What does that look like? So just letting you talk and just hugging you, holding your hands.
You gotta just get the emotions out,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and you just gotta, like you told me, sometimes you just gotta cry. You just gotta let them get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to know what your life looks like. You also said one thing that was very important that you said helped your healing journey. Some things that about accepting people for who they are and understanding they may not have the capacity to be who you need them to be. And you also said something about forgiveness helping you on your healing journey. Could you talk about that a little more?
Yeah, so a good example of this would be my dad. My dad is far from the perfect role model. He doesn't do what you would say the fatherly things are at all. But I've learned to accept that's who he is as a person. And I know you've moved on, you apologize, you admit your wrongs. But he won't do that. He probably never will. And you accept things like that. That's who he is, and that's okay. I forgive him for what he did. But and you move on from it.
What exactly did he do?
He was abusive. He was abusive. Yeah. Yeah. He was abusive.
And what about the forgiveness part?
What do you mean?
How does your forgiveness, how did it affect your healing journey, and what does that look like? What I want the next young girl to know is how to start the healing journey that you did.
Yeah.
So I would just like for you to explain the forgiveness part, how that was able to free you.
What forgiveness looked like for me and how it freed me is being able to move on. Like my dad doesn't give me any birthday gifts. He doesn't give me any Christmas gifts, and I accept that, and I just move on from it. You forgive it, you move on from it. You don't keep expecting people to change, or you don't expect people to change and mold them into how you want them to be, because that's just not realistic. People are who they are, and you gotta just accept that and move on, or else you're hurting yourself.
Why do you believe that he doesn't give you any birthday and Christmas gifts, and how do you equate that with love?
I don't equate it with love at all. I have no reason why. There's really no excuse why, but that's just who he is.
All right. Now, what about the forgiveness part, and what does that look like?
I just, I forgive the actions and I move on.
What does that look like?
Just looks like me living my life, happy. I don't really think about it.
You mean forgiveness for you is releasing the pain?
Yeah, let it go.
Releasing the expectation?
Yeah.
Releasing the person?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel fine. I mean, I don't have to. It makes me feel fine. Like there's a weight off my shoulder. Like I don't.
Free. So you feel free.
Yeah.
So forgiving has liberated you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. What would you tell a young girl that is going through a hard time in her family, that is going through a hard time at school, that their friends are maybe jealous of them? Because you're very beautiful. I can imagine the girls picking on you because you hear your parents say, "Oh, you're gorgeous and you're beautiful," and it's true. Sometimes a person may look like they have it all together, and they may not see you in your suffering, and so they try to bring you down. You understand?
Yeah.
Because you are a shining light, and like so many other young girls, right?
Yeah.
But people in this world, they try to dim shining lights.
Yeah.
But they couldn't dim your light.
Yeah.
You're gorgeous. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm thankful for you. I thank you for sharing your story. So many young girls will be blessed from your healing journey and your story of redemption. I'm
Thank
so
you.
extremely proud of you. So,
Thanks for having me.
okay, one more question. We're going to ask about, have you ever been called an angry black woman?
I have not.
Have you ever heard that phrase?
I have.
Have you ever been angry?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask why?
Yeah, I mean, I was angry. I was getting picked on. People was talking about me, and it made me angry.
So your anger was valid.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you learned how to deal with anger?
Yeah, I feel like it really just comes from, yeah, okay, me dealing with that now versus back then is really just knowing your self-worth, knowing, self-confidence, loving yourself.
What does that look
So
like?
that looks like when somebody says I'm ugly, I know I'm not ugly. That's what it looks like. It looks like if somebody tells me that I'm this, I'm that, is I know who I am, and whatever you're saying does not matter.
That's beautiful.
That's really how it looks like.
Okay. So I've just learned how to deal with anger, and it's an acronym I've learned I'd like to share with everyone.
Yeah, I also think when somebody's angry and they're projecting things like that, it's really an issue deeper within themselves.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I personally feel that everybody has a right to feel how they feel. And I think it's very unfair to label Black women as angry.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times we've had to endure a lot of things that other women may not have. And I'm very proud of every woman, especially, I'm sorry, but a Black woman, because we've had to, in a lot of ways, endure some things that other people may not have. But there's a lot of women that have, endured some of the things we have. So I thank you for that. I would like for you to talk to a girl that's just like Jazz. I want you to encourage them. I want you to pour into them spiritually. I want you to speak to a young woman out there.
Yeah, so if you're someone out there who is in a very dark place like I was, I just want you to know it gets better. I've always heard that, and, I never thought it would be better. But it really does. Or you could honestly, the best revenge is just to better yourself. Just put all your time and effort into something that you love to do, that you're passionate about, and you don't really have to worry about anything else. If you have people who are being negative in your life, you really don't need them. And honestly, sometimes you are just better off with yourself, and figuring out who you are, and going on your journey and fulfilling your dreams, no matter what anyone else says.
I love it. Can you sing a little something for us? Come on, girl. Sing a little something for us. Girl, my baby got them vocals, honey. Don't be scared.
You took me off guard.
Come on, sing a little something.
What am I supposed to sing? What do you want me to sing?
Your song. She writes songs too, guys. Just a sentence.
I'm trying to think of which song I could sing. Like
Earth Angel.
Can we cut? Just for a second, so I can figure out something to sing. That'd be the last one?
Yeah, that's the last one. Okay, so while you're thinking, you can go ahead. I'm going to ask you how they can contact you. Jazz, how can a young woman contact you that may need encouragement, that may need help, or if they can contact you for modeling, or you do sing and you write music? How can someone contact you?
So actually, I am Blockstar Ali on all platforms. I'm very active. You can always DM me. So that's BLOCKSTARALY on all platforms. And you can go ahead and DM me if you ever feel like you actually need someone to talk to or anything like that, any advice. I'm here because I feel like I've been through it all and I've seen it all.
Amen.
Yeah.
And your name is Jazz and
Yes.
not Alea. Thank you.
But it is both, because that's my middle name.
That's true.
Jazzalea. I'm Jazzalea.
Pass. All right. Thank you so much. This has been a great episode, another great episode. If you have been touched and blessed and lifted by this wonderful testimony of redemption from Miss Jazz, I want you to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment. Tell us what you think. Our mother's off the hook. Or no, really. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and until next time. Bye, Heelys.